Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. Now, you may have seen the previous video earlier on today, just a few hours ago, regarding this topic, regarding Enzo Lefebvre. It is Lefebvre, not Lefaux or Lefebvre like I was saying in the previous video. I knew it was Lefebvre. I don't know why I kept on saying Lefaux. Either way, I'm not well, so we crack on anyway. Anyway, there's been an update. Of course, in the previous video, I was excited. However, I was trying to limit myself because although there was mountains and so many, there was queues of reports, journalists from across Europe, even really reputable ones that were that were discussing and reporting on this. I still just didn't want to believe anything. But but when Fab speaks, everyone shuts up, they sit down and they listen, and that is exactly what we've all done, because Fabrizio Romano, of course, super journalist who knows everybody's business, has reported on it, saying Sunderland agree deal to sign Enzo Lefebvre from AS Roma. Here we go, those magical three words. Honestly, before we even continue reading, by the way, I don't know how to word this correctly, but what the actual fuck? I mean, I'm not, again, I know he's not prime Ronaldinho or Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi. I know that. But the calibre of this bloke, for no one who knows, for this level, it is stupid. And there's supporters and fans of other championship sides that are literally just saying, fair play, Sunderland, because this is mental. It is racked up nearly 40 million euros worth of transfer fees over the last couple of seasons. And then I've seen people say, well, why? He'd only come to Sunderland for a reason. It must be an attitude. It must be an injury. He's not injured, from what I believe. I don't think he is injured. He has had a knee injury in the past, but after, I think it was a couple of months out, he's been fine. And I don't think he has any recurring injury problems. From what I've read, I could be wrong. But I think he's fit. He just hasn't got as much game time as he would have liked at Roma. And that's not to say he hasn't played, because he has. You know, he has loads of experience for a 24-year-old. You know, he played 140-odd games under Regis Lebris whilst at Lorient. Then, of course, he moved to Stade Rennais, where he played a full season there after I think they'd already paid 20 million for him. Then Roma paid an extra 20 plus million for him again. So there must be an amazing player in there. Like I said in the previous video, the top six sort of teams in the Premier League at the time were touted to be looking at him. Teams across Europe were looking at him or were fighting for his signature. But I think he's just thinking to himself, right, a bit of game time, playing for a manager and a coach that I know, and an exciting young up-and-coming Sunderland side that are aiming for the top two, or at least we could compete for the top two. And I think Rodgers has probably just said, right, we're in a brilliant position now, particularly after the game against Portsmouth last weekend, which, of course, I was too ill. I still am, really. I was too ill to report on that game. But after that game, we're only 3 points off the top, and probably more importantly, arguably, we're a massive 11 points ahead of 7th. So we're almost cementing our place in the playoffs really early, but we need to continue with performances and results, of course. And I think Rodgers has probably just said, right, if you really want us to push for the top two and try and compete with the likes of Leeds, try and compete with the likes of, Sheffield United, Burnley, we're going to have to really press and push. And my God, is this not a push and a half? Because this player is a hell of a player. He's played through all the youth teams for France, plenty of appearances there. I think he played in the Olympics for France as well. He's a hell of a player. A number 8 / number 10. Fantastic player. He can pop up with a goal here and there. He's not renowned for his goal-scoring abilities, but he has popped up with goals. If he has a bit more belief, he can add goals to his game. His passing ability is fantastic. Slick, quick-moving, very technically gifted. And it's a stupid signing for this level. But either way, if you continue reading the statement, it does say Regis Lebris crucial to make it happen, which of course, as I did allude to, he's played under him before, so he will want to come under a manager that knows him inside out, knows how to play him. So that's a good thing. That's a bonus for us as well, not just for Regis and the player himself, for Enzo, because straight off the bat, Rodgers doesn't need to get used to a player and start to learn what he knows, what he can't do, and what he can do. He knows already, immediately, what Enzo is capable of, where to play him, how to get the best out of him, because he did get the best out of him. So it's just such a win-win. Story confirmed as Matt Moretto, who was one of the original people who reported on this, one of the journalists I mentioned and spoke about in the previous video. He called earlier this week, Black Cats are finalising the formal steps. A loan deal, hear me out, with a buy clause included from AS Roma. Now, I don't know whether the buy clause would necessarily mean that we have to buy him, or they've just set a fee that we would have to pay if we wanted him, or maybe if we get promoted, then we have to buy him. Something I don't know. Of course, we don't know the ins and outs of the clause. But my God, guys, I know I could easily be jumping the gun here. This could fall through. It very easily could. It would be a very, very Sunderland thing to happen. But if you can't get excited by this kind of stuff, then what's the point? What is the point? This is stupidly exciting. And it's way above our pay grade, this. Way above our pay grade. But it almost, maybe not as mental, but all those years ago when West Ham signed Tevez and Mascherano, when West Ham were fighting in a relegation battle, and then, of course, a young Tevez and Mascherano just appeared out of nowhere, and we were thinking, how the hell have they got them? Of course, it's not of that same ilk, as I say, but he just shouldn't be anywhere near the Championship, this lad. And I don't know how to tout him up too much and big him up too much, because then, if we do bring him in, people are going to be expecting him to start the game and skin everyone and score 5 every game. He's not quite that player. And of course, you're only as good as those surrounded by you at times. But he's one hell of a player. And if we can surround him with quality, which we do have quality, but really play to his strengths and get around him, support him, we have a hell of a player on our hands, if that is to be the case. But yeah, Enzo Lefebvre looks like he's on his way to Sunderland. And like I said, there's plenty of other teams at the moment that have been sniffing around him. I think there's some teams in the Bundesliga who are looking at him, as well as elsewhere across Europe. But it looks like he is going to be coming to Sunderland and becoming a Sunderland player. I'm not too sure how he would fit. Again, I'm just going to repeat myself in the previous video, so I'll try and stop. But essentially, I just don't know whether he would just slot straight into the starting 11, or it would be a case of changing the system, or someone's going to be dropped. But I think that's what they need. This trio we've got in the middle. I know, like I said in the last video, we've been playing a 4-4-2 recently, but I think it only helps the team when you have legit quality competition, not just numbers sat on the bench that we never use because Rodgers doesn't trust them. You know, if Job has a bad game, he knows he's playing the next week. If Rig, when he's fit, has a bad game, he knows he's playing the next week. Dhannoo, he could play poor, and he knows he's playing the next game. Sometimes you need someone like this to give you a real kick up the arse, and rather than seeing it as a challenge and a downward thing or a negative thing, like to Job, Rig, and Dhannoo, cheers computer, rather than look at it as a negative, look at it as this is a challenge now. Now I need to be on my A game, and hopefully it pushes the players, and this is where their professionalism will be tested now. They need to stay on their A game, because if we're bringing in players like this, you're gonna fall to the bench quickly. But either way, I'm gonna leave it at that. What do you guys make of this? I thought I'd just give you a quick update because, like I said, Fab is the man to listen to, and I've listened. Let me know in the comments down below if you've enjoyed. Hit the like button if you are excited now. Subscribe if you are new. But for now, take care, stay jammy. How are the lads?